An isolated farmhouse in Plainfield, Wisconsin, held one of the most disturbing secrets in American crime history. The story of Ed Gein, known as the Butcher of Plainfield, is not only horrifying, but has inspired some of the most iconic villains in horror cinema. But what authorities uncovered at his property defies imagination. What kind of darkness could drive a man to commit such unspeakable acts? Stay with us as we unravel this chilling tale of obsession, madness, and horror. Early life. Ed Gein was born on August 27, 1906, in La Crosse County, Wisconsin. From the start, his life was anything but normal. His father, George, was a violent alcoholic who struggled to hold down a job, while his mother, Augusta, was a domineering and fanatically religious woman who ruled the household with an iron fist. Augusta raised Ed and his older brother Henry to believe that the world outside their small farm was full of sin and corruption. She taught them that women, apart from herself, were evil temptresses sent to lead men astray. Ed and Henry grew up in isolation, shielded from friends, neighbors, and any outside influence. But while Henry grew skeptical of Augusta's teachings, Ed became deeply attached to his mother, idolizing her as a saintly figure. Augusta's influence left an indelible mark on Ed, and when she passed away in 1945 after a series of strokes, his world was shattered. Ed later described feeling completely alone in the world, as if he had lost his only connection to life. Many believe this loss was the catalyst for Ed's descent into madness, as he began retreating deeper into a world of fantasy, grief, and obsession. After his mother's death, Ed Gein continued living alone on the family farm. To the residents of Plainfield, he was an odd, but seemingly harmless man who worked as a handyman and babysitter. But behind closed doors, Ed's mind was unraveling. He spent his days reading medical books, anatomy manuals, and lurid pulp magazines filled with stories about cannibals and Nazis. His fascination with death and the female body soon turned into something far more sinister. One night, driven by an overwhelming compulsion, Ed dug up a recently buried body from the local cemetery. This would be the first of many visits to the grave sites around Plainfield. Over the course of several years, Ed would exhume the bodies of recently deceased women, bringing them back to his farmhouse to use their remains for his bizarre crafts. In his twisted mind, he wasn't desecrating the dead, he was keeping them alive in some way. He later confessed to wearing the skin of these women, believing it allowed him to take on their form and get closer to his late mother. While grave robbing satisfied Ed's dark urges for a time, it wasn't enough. In December 1954, Mary Hogan, a local tavern owner, went missing. The last time anyone saw her, she was working in her bar. Bloodstains were found at the scene, but there was no sign of Mary herself. Some locals joked that Ed might have had something to do with her disappearance, but no one took him seriously. To them, he was just the town oddball. 3 years later, in November 1957, Bernice Worden, the owner of Plainfield's hardware store, vanished. This time, her son Frank, who also happened to be a deputy sheriff, noticed something strange. A sales receipt for antifreeze made out to Ed Gein, the last customer before she disappeared. Suspicion quickly turned to Ed, and investigators headed to his farmhouse. What authorities found at Ed's property was beyond anything they could have imagined. In the barn, they discovered Bernice Worden's body hanging from the rafters, decapitated and gutted like a deer. Inside the house, investigators were met with a scene so grotesque that some of them had to leave the premises, unable to continue. Furniture upholstered with human skin, masks made from faces, a belt crafted from human nipples, a lamp made from a human face, and then the most infamous artifact, a full-body woman suit that Ed admitted to wearing during his private rituals. Ed calmly confessed to the murders of Mary Hogan and Bernice Worden, as well as to grave robbing. He explained that he was attempting to recreate his mother, a fact that left even seasoned detectives disturbed. Trial and legacy. Ed Gein was declared legally insane and unfit to stand trial in 1957. He was sent to a mental institution where he remained for the rest of his life. In 1968, he was deemed competent and stood trial for Bernice Worden's murder, but he was found not guilty by reason of insanity. Ed Gein died in 1984, but his story continues to haunt the public imagination. His crimes inspired the creation of some of the most infamous characters in horror history, including Norman Bates in Psycho, Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Buffalo Bill in The Silence of the Lambs. Deeper questions. Ed Gein's case isn't just about gruesome crimes. It raises questions about isolation, mental illness, and the impact of childhood trauma. Could Ed's descent into madness have been prevented? And how many others like him exist, unnoticed in seemingly quiet towns? His story is a chilling reminder of the darkness that can hide behind even the most unassuming faces. If you found this story chilling, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into true crime cases. And remember, the scariest monsters aren't always in movies. They might just be your neighbor.